Greetings, Mega Man fans, and welcome back to the Mega Man Super Fighting Robot LPA. Once again, I'd like to apologize for that sudden hiatus from earlier. However, I am very much back now, and I fully intend to return to a regular upload schedule. Anyway, without further ado, been dealing with winter a little too long now, in my opinion. Let's go somewhere a little warmer. For this episode, we will be taking on Coleman. This stage is generally considered to be one of the hardest stages in this game. And honestly, I can't imagine why. The first new enemy type we encounter in this stage are the Susies. I say new enemy type, but we know how Susies behave at this point. They move back and forth and stick to walls. And they'll either go and by back and forth, I mean left and right, or up and down. This introduction right here is set up decently well, since you get a safe vantage point to observe their behavior. However, oh my word, those things are a massive damage sponge. They take quite a few hits to kill for such a small enemy, which is kind of interesting, that. That being said, Susies get a really nice combination here with Pyro Joe. They not only ensure that you're not going to be in the range of his flamethrower, but with the amount of health they have, it gives us a good chance to see that his flamethrower is reflective in nature. As you can see, he will, at set intervals, try to hit you with his flamethrower, and he does aim in your direction. He's not a terribly difficult enemy to deal with, but he can take a bit of time to kill simply because he has such a long period of time where he isn't really vulnerable. And if I was sliding into this room, I probably would have easily been tagged by Fire Shoot here. Fire Shoot is a ceiling cannon enemy that drops fireballs downwards at a set and fairly aggressive interval. As you can see, these things fire pretty quickly. This can make it rather difficult to get through them, though not impossible. And oh! Hi, Baton! I kind of appreciate the fact that it had a sound when it opened up its wings there, because otherwise I could see a player completely missing it. Good thing Fire Shoot is here to make sure you're gonna see Baton act up before you try to jump into it. And speaking of Fire Shoot, this is a bit of a tricky one to get past, but I made it. Going to deal with the Susies here. And here we have Drill Metar. The drill on his front is invulnerable, but the rest of him isn't. His helmet used to also reflect shots, but that was changed. I can appreciate why it was changed, since it makes dealing with Drill Metar far easier, but at the same time, I honestly think the stage itself suffered from the removal of that aspect, as we will see later. It's a good thing that Baton there was right in range of my shot. Because of that, not only have I gotten the chance to see a little bit of how Baton works, I really have no excuse for not knowing that it can reflect shots while it's hanging on the ceiling. So the introduction to Baton is handled very well in this room. I quite like it. Incidentally, likewise with Drill Metar, since if you weren't able to kill it in the original, there was nothing stopping you from jumping over it. And a couple of extra Batons here, and another familiar gimmick. Those were count bombs. A bit faster than they were in Rock Force, but otherwise very much the same beast. And as we can no doubt see, bats are frequent in this stage. Another thing that's fairly frequent, at least in the early part of this stage, are spikes. Joy. And now... oh, that's not a good place to stand in. Okay, that's really not a good place to stand in. Okay, now that I'm not likely to get smacked in the face, gimmick discussion. Up here, we have fire. It's fire. If you stand in it, it will tear through your health like butter. So just don't stand in fire if you know what's good for you. I do like it though, since it makes a good replacement for spikes, since, you know, not instant death. Right here is lava, which is actually even more dangerous than spikes. As, guess what? Your Mercy Invincibility, which protects you from spikes, doesn't protect you from lava. So if you touch it, it doesn't matter if you're using Zap Barrier or not, you're dead. You are 100% dead. That can get problematic. Especially here. I'm not gonna lie, we are... Never has the term out of the frying pan and into the fire been more appropriate than right now. Because that's definitely what I feel like in this room. This room right here is probably one of the most nerve-wracking rooms in the entire stage. At the very least, it is far more difficult to come out of this room unscathed than it is for many of the other rooms in the stage. So this stage goes right into the stage goes into its more difficult sections a lot faster. That extra life right there is kind of nice. It's a good thing I slid to the left, because this jump right here, incredibly difficult to pull off, at least in my opinion. Anyway, below us is Volcano. Very beefy looking volcano guy who shoots these arcing fire coal things, and he sweeps from right to left, left to right. He's not actually that threatening, but he can take a fair amount of punishment. So, do be cautious when dealing with him. And this is actually a neat little section right here. Of course, if I was a better jumper, I would have been able to demonstrate the trick to that section. But fact is, though, that those floating flames are placed very strategically to make jumping over Drill Meteor there just a little harder. Of course, Drill Meteor is so easy to kill now that there really isn't much reason for a player to risk getting hit by the flame. Which is, quite frankly, nothing short of disappointing. Since all that work was put in to make it so the dodging Drill Meteor was an interesting challenge in its own right, and now it's actually pretty easy to kill. Bit of a pity, that. Okay, let's not be dumb here. Ah, great. That was a poor landing there. Oh well. Still made it out halfway decently. Okay, there. And that is how you solve this room without dying, and also getting the G. Plenty doable, and honestly I felt it was doable even in earlier versions. This room has a lot more count bombs in it than it used to. If anything, it almost feels a little child-proofed, but... oh well. It is still possible to die in here, especially if you aren't careful though. So don't underestimate it just because there's bombs everywhere. Okay, I'm kinda glad it didn't slide into this room. I would have regretted it. I have a feeling I want to do these dead there. Okay, there. And this is gonna be a rather nerve-wracking jump. Let's deal with what I can first. Oh, made it. Thank goodness. Volcano there, fortunately, wasn't too threatening. At least, not compared to the second one. second volcano has proven a bit more threatening, though not by much, than both of the volcanoes we just dealt with. And once again, Drometor is in a situation where you have fairly tricky dodge setups for dealing with it, but killing it really isn't that difficult anymore. Which is a shame. Such interesting choice to its design, and there's really not much point to taking the bait. Now, that screw over there are two different ways to get it. One of them is using a master weapon I don't have yet to clear out the flames and the fire chute. But the other way is just a well-placed leaf boomerang. Okay. And there we go, no damage, nicely done. A few tricky jumps, and the return of Pyro Joe. Pyro Joe doesn't really get a lot of use in this stage, I'm sorry to say. Bit of a tricky shot, but worth it. Fire chute there is a real threat. And there we go. Okay. A lot of precarious jumps in this stage, but they are doable so long as you keep calm. And the volcano on count bomb to end it off. So, Coalman stage. It's not like the worst stage I've ever been through, but I freely admit I don't like it as much as Leafman or Zapman stage. The enemies are handled fairly well here, although Volcano's difficulty curve is a little eh. The last one is definitely the hardest of the group, but the ones in the middle and the arrangement of it could perchance be a bit better. That's just me nitpicking though, really. No, I think the biggest issue with difficulty curve is that one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the stage is set in the middle of it. In an earlier take, I actually died in that room and nowhere else in the entire stage, which is kind of telling for about how difficult that room actually is. Since you have to pull off some pretty tricky timing with a time limit. Fun times, let me tell ya. The main thing with this stage is that it relies a lot on precarious jumps. One raw move in this stage is generally enough to cost you a life, which is a stark contrast from Zapman and Leafman, where the stage was a little more lenient in terms of how much it kills you. The lava, in particular, is one of the main reasons for this happening in Coalman stage, since no mercy, you touch lava, you die. Which is honestly kind of ironic, considering the fact that you also have those little fires strewn throughout the stage that most decidedly don't kill you if you touch them. It creates a bit of an odd dichotomy between this stage's two main gimmicks. One can basically be used in the place of spikes without actually, killing you. It still carries the same connotation, but allows the player more recovery chance, which is pretty good. It gives you a bit more of a safety net for difficult design, and then something that will kill you outright literally no matter what. That is a bit of an awkward dichotomy, and I'm really not sure I like it. Anyway, I have 4 lives. That should be more than enough to take care of Coalman. He's one of the 2 robot masters I haven't gotten a perfect run against yet. And that's because of the fact he's changed quite a lot from his beta appearance. And I mean quite a lot. The nature of his first attack there is controlled by whether or not you jump while he is airborne. If you don't jump, then he would fire the fireballs on the ground. If you do jump, he's going to shoot in the air. His second attack, whether he uses the triple fireball or the coal barrage, is controlled by your distance to him. If you're closer to him, if you're closer to him, he'll use the triple fireball, aimed in your direction. However, if you're farther away from him, he will use the coal barrage. After that set of attacks, he jumps into the middle and uses the giga coal. Okay, that was a poorly timed jump, but oh well. Oh dear. Okay, managed to pull off a coal barrage dodge. Nice. Coalman can be fairly tricky. Once you understand the nature of how he works, he isn't that bad. Though, do be wary, when he gets down below half health, he adopts he starts firing 2 giga coals. And that can be a lot, and that can be a bit trickier to dodge. Do be careful, as he is... Oh dear. Aha! Gotcha! Yeah, do be careful, as he is a tricky boss to end a tricky stage. He does have a pattern, but you can manipulate it. That being said, he's no Toadman. Manipulating his patterns is not going to just hand you a victory. And anyway, his weapon of choice? The Coal Barrage. It is basically your mid-boss slaughter weapon. In the sense that, as you saw from its range, you will kill practically everything standing in front of you and below you when you use it. If you use it underwater, it doesn't create that little fire trail, which makes it a little weaker. With that fire trail, though, things die. They just die when you fire at them. And with that, that's all for this episode. So, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the episode, and again, I do hope to return to a regular upload schedule. So, that shouldn't be too hard since I'll hopefully have built a buffer. Anyway, for the next episode, we will be taking on a stage that is basically a walking reference to one of my favorite game series. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you continue to enjoy the SFR LPA. And I shall see you for the next one. Until then, goodbye!